I think it's interesting right now. There was some questions just in terms of what some freshmen and transfers might either be in the two deep or may have an opportunity to make an impact early on, and so we can go through that on both sides of the ball here. So I mean, obviously on offense, Dillon Gabriel, from a transfer perspective, I think he'll obviously be the biggest impact on the team you would think. I mean, at this point, at the running back position, Jovantae Barnes is a guy that's as a freshman, he's going to get some playing time. Not sure exactly how much. Kind of depends on how that battle goes a little bit. He'll all three of those kids between him and Gray and Marcus Major will get some time as well. When you look at the tight end position, I think they really like what they have with Daniel Parker, the transfer from Missouri. So I think he'll be in the mix a little bit. Has kind of been told that he's more of a blocking tight end type of kid, but surprises you a little bit with his pass catching ability. So I think he'll be in the mix and get a decent amount of playing time, just kind of depending on how Levy goes with this offense, because he'll do some 10 personnel, he'll do some 11, and then he'll do some 12 with two tight ends in the game from time to time. So if he feels comfortable with both tight ends, whether that be Parker and Braden Willis, or maybe the other true freshman Caden Helms get some time in there as well. So I think at the tight end position, you've got a transfer in Parker and you've got a true freshman in Caden Helms that might get a little bit of time there. Might be able to help them immediately. At the receiver position, I would look to Jaden Gibson, true freshman coming in. He might be in a spot where he can help Oklahoma right away. This is a position I would not be surprised at all to see Oklahoma go to the portal in the post spring, pre summer, or pre fall, I should say, time frame, just because Oklahoma has a lot of bodies, but they don't have a ton of probably what you would say kind of game changers at the position from a depth perspective. They've got Theo Weiss, Marvin Mims, Jalil Farouk, Cody Jackson. Those are some guys that kind of come to mind initially, but not a ton of depth. And you got a guy, Theo Weiss, who's coming off an injury as well. So I think those are some of the guys. From an offensive line perspective, Mccabe Mataur, talked about him a little bit. He's going to get a lot of playing time. At this point, I kind of have him locked in as one of the guard positions for Oklahoma. I think that's, I'm not saying it's settled, but would be surprised if he's not a guy that gets a lot of playing time, if not starts, in the interior of that offensive line. Don't really see a whole lot other than him. Honestly, Mark playing early on. So I think where you see a little bit more opportunity is probably on the defensive side of the ball. So